Yochanan Vollach is a former Israeli footballer. He was a member of the Israeli national team that competed at the 1970 FIFA World Cup. Vollach is president of the Maccabi Haifa sport organization as well as being the CEO of the Chamber of Shipping of Israel. Playing career. Early years. Born in Kiryat-Bialik, Vollach began his career with his local club, Maccabi Kiryat-Bialik. In 1963, he was drafted to the IDF's Natal as an infantry soldier, one of only a handful of professional footballers to serve in active combat in the Natal. Vollach actually missed an entire season of football while serving his country. During his service, he won the IDF Football Championship in 1965. Still quite anonymous, Vollach yearned for a move to a bigger club. By 1965, at age 19, his rights were sold for 5,000 Israeli lira to Maccabi Haifa, the place where he would kickstart his career and become a role model and a symbol for thousands of supporters until this very day. Originally a striker, because of his height advantage and large build, he was dubbed the Tank. He was unable to reach his full potential, so he was moved to the defender position where he excelled and played till the end of his career. He subsequently won the Israeli State Cup competition twice in 1966 and 1974 and was close several times to winning Liga Lumen. His most major achievement, though, was helping the Israel national team qualify for the first World Cup in Mexico in 1970. At the 1970 World Cup, Vollach played against Uruguay. At the following match, Vollach broke his leg in the second half in a tough and brutal match from the Swedish side, and so the dream of man-marking Gigi Riva and Gianni Rivera in the last match against Italy was over. Because of his performances on the national stage, Vollach was twice loaned out to other Israeli clubs to strengthen the rosters for the sole purpose of UI Cup games. The first time was in 1976 with Hapoel Be'er Sheva and the second in 1977 with Maccabi Tel Aviv, both Israeli title holders. Over the years, Vollach managed to keep his position as one of the biggest sports stars in Israel. He began working at Zim in 1970 after returning from the 1970 FIFA World Cup. At his first week he was assigned to go over employees' attendance tickets. In 1977, Vollach transferred from Hapoel Haifa along with former international player and club captain Yitzhak Englander to local city rivals Maccabi Haifa. Maccabi Haifa. As a seasoned veteran, Vollach served as a role model for young and inexperienced players at Maccabi. He was looked up to for having been a part of the national side that took part in the World Cup finals. His time, though, at Maccabi was short, playing only 2 seasons, and, in 1979, he retired from professional football and began, fully voluntarily, to act as general manager of Maccabi Haifa. Vollach's unique managing skills and leadership was the major reason that Maccabi went from being a mediocre football club to a successful empire in the top flight, winning the first championship in 1984 and retaining it in 1985, which Maccabi Haifa also finished at the head of the house in the Intertoto home stage. During this time, he began to be known as the brains of Maccabi Haifa. During the years, Vollach concisely insisted of combining Maccabi's youth players in the senior squad and also prevented the release of many key players as well as bringing the youth side to its zenith. Hong Kong FC. In 1985, Vollach was promoted in his job at Zim, and was sent overseas to become the branch manager and representative of the company's operations in Hong Kong. It was then that he made a return to football, starring at Hong Kong FC, back to administrative career. After 5 years in Hong Kong, at 1990, Vollach returned to Israel, where former teammate and club captain Yitzhak Englander was president of Hapoel Haifa. England offered him the position of president of Hapoel, but city rivals, Maccabi, were not eager to see Vollach go, so they appointed him as CFO and chief executive of the team. Over the span of 3 years, the club won the double during the 1990-91 season and the State Cup at 1993. Between 1990 to 1994, he was volunteering in the management division of the Israeli Football Association as well as acting as Maccabi Haifa's representative at the IFA. After the football department was privatized, Vollach joined the Maccabi Haifa union's management, filling major positions such as CFO and second to the chairman of board. In 1999, he was voted in unanimously as chairman of the board of the Maccabi Haifa Union as well as president of the basketball division of Maccabi Haifa, and as a member of the management of the Israeli Basketball Association. Aside from his administrative and work roles, Vollach participated for many years as a sports commentator on the popular Israeli sports radio show. Shiram Ashur Araman was a local journalist. Vollach owns a bachelor's degree in history and political science from the University of Haifa, and a master's degree in business administration from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. He is also a retired major in the IDF. Among the positions that Vollach filled during his time working for ZIM, he has been the Global Services Manager, Chairman of the Directorate of all ZIM's ownership companies and Vice President of ZIM and ZIM's Dizengoff President and AMP CEO. Since 2005, he has been the President and AMP CEO of Newlog, which is a subsidiary of the ZIM Group, and handles logistics service relating to marine and overland transportation. He still plays football today for Hapoel Haifa's veteran side, which he also trains. Vollach is a member of the Education and Publicity Committee of the IFA and a management member of Maccabi. In recognition of his extensive volunteering to the sporting community as well as business success, he was bestowed with honorary citizenship by the city of Haifa in 1993. Military. In one of the times during the early 2000s, while serving the IDF's military reserve force in the Israeli border near Modi'in, he was in charge of the company which twice prevented several terrorists to penetrate the border in order to commit suicide attacks. Shooting incident. At the summer of 1976, Vollach was strengthening the rosters for the sole purpose of UI Cup games with title holders Hapoel Be'er-Sheva. Before the game against Standard Liège in Belgium, the players were staying at the hotel room. Shalom Avatar, Be'er-Sheva's player, fooled around with the .22 short caliber that was in a box on the table and that belonged to the Shabak agent which was guarding the team. Avatar thought the gun was unloaded and pointed the gun towards Vollach. His hand was moved in the last second and the bullet went an inch away from Vollach's head. Gallery. Trophies won in football. Maccabi Haifa and AMP Hapoel Haifa. 4 ex-Israeli Cup. 3 ex-Israeli title. 1 ex-Israeli Championship of the Champions Cup. 1 ex-Lilian Cup. 1 ex-IDF title. Maccabi Haifa Youth Team. 4 ex-Israeli Youth title. 3 ex-Israeli Youth Cup. 1 ex-Israeli Championship of the Champions Cup. Maccabi Haifa Basketball Team. 2 ex-Israeli Final Four. 1 ex-Israeli Cup Final. Major honors. Best She in Israel. Fair Play Award in Israel. Hapoel Haifa Best She All-Time. Elected by official website poll as Hapoel Haifa's greatest player all-time. Israel Golden Jubilee Awards. Haifa Best She. Israel Golden Jubilee Awards. Haifa Best Defender. Honorary Citizen of the City of Haifa. Lifetime Contributions Special Award for the Israeli national team in the 1970 World Cup, determined by Yedioth Ahronoth and the Israeli Football Player Association. Member of the Israeli Football Hall of Fame.